Now, without taking much time of yours, I welcome you all to our webinar on data analytics and interpretation, which will be hosted by Finmeraki and conducted by one of our leading industry practitioners with over 15 plus years of experience in credit, risk, and investments, Mr. Dinesh.
There are data ingestion tools, warehousing tools, and event processing tools. Now, these tools are very important because number one, as I said, data comes from multiple sources, and even the data which comes from private sources like CapIQ, Bloomberg, etc., are not in a very right format to use when people are working on data analytics, and therefore, data ingestion is a process which consumes most of the time in the projects. But when we talk about larger size loans, there we have not seen much application of AI and ML. Now, in terms of where we have seen other more matured applications of AI and ML is more in terms of the market research. So you would see multi-channel segmentation, next product to buy, digital marketing. Lot of applications has already been there. So the ones categories that you see in the top are the ones where they are more matured markets in terms of application of AI and ML. And the ones which you see at the below, they are more nascent, and the ones which are below, so capital optimization, early warning systems, these are the ones which are more nascent. And why they are nascent? So two reasons. Number one, they are very complex, and number two, data availability and quality of data availability for each of these segments is a big challenge. Therefore, it is at a nascent stage, but a lot of these would gradually evolve over time. So, if you have to focus on quite which segments are going to grow more over time, I think the focus should be on advanced financial analytics, capital optimization, early warning systems. So whether the system can predict a default rate, or whether the system can predict that customer is going to need more liquidity in the next 2 years, or the customer is going to draw down this much of the facility in the next year, those kind of things. There we are going to see much more investments and much more application going forward. Now, in terms of what kind of models have been used in these segments, so the important models that have been used is number one, decision tree. So decision tree is one of the very advanced model which is being used across all these segments right now. Number two is deep learning and the neural networks. So deep learning is more about feeding the system with a lot of test related results. Having a lot of AI ML firms doing some research, doing some particular project on a certain thing, etc. It's a lot of overhype, and we will see where the overhype factor is coming in. And still, the industry has a lot of things to do and achieve in these three segments. So let's see about a couple of applications of AI and ML in financial services. So first example that I can think of is ATM cash reload. So how does a bank know that a particular ATM in a particular area needs to be uploaded with cash? And the cash requirement can vary from week to week. So in 1 week, there might be a requirement to maybe only 50% of the capacity. Another week there might be a requirement to full let's say 70% of the capacity. How does a bank know how much cash it has to fill in the ATM at a certain time period to make sure that it does not get empty before the next reload? And number two, it is not overfilled also. In terms of applications to the other industries, if you are a credit analyst, if you are a risk analyst, if you are an equity analyst, or let's say if you are on the insurance side, it's important to understand where it is being applied, why it is being applied, and how it is being applied, to make sure that our role becomes much easier, and therefore we understand and connect the dots pretty well.